Alright, let's get the stuff that's going to fall out of my memory real fast talked about before I get started on this video. This Wacky load is a 3 pickup load. So it's at a place called Fruit Patch in Dinuba, California, Northern California. And then that was the first pickup, multi-pickup. Okay, first time I've done that for this guy. Did it for a mega carry before, but never to this kind of weird level. And then, so Dinuba, Northern California, Fruit Patch. Then the second one was Be Sweet. Cutesy names for these companies. In Fowler. So both of those were kind of around Fresno. And then about an hour south of there, like most of the way, 2/3 of the way to Bakersfield. I'm at another place this morning. It's called Wonderful Citrus, or something to do with Halos, Halos. There you go, there's a sign over there. Yeah. So it's all citrus. I think it's oranges. Oh no, I picked up Meyer lemons last night at the second pickup. Okay. So I'm at the third pickup right now. I'm on the dock. You can just see the red light back there just went red. It is 11:20 Pacific, Northern California time. Bottom of those 3 Central Valleys. You know, I'm a stone's throw, like hour and a half, probably less, from the bottom of the Grapevine, where you go up the hill and over the, what's it called, the T. John Pass into LA. So that's where I'm at. Okay, let's just digress a little bit. How am I going to say it? I'm very, very tired. Brand new start to a brand new morning. I'm very tired, so I'll get into that. But here's the first thing, right? You see Dock 38 right there? Behind me in the mirror image. I'm Dock 39. See the Indians right here? Dock 40. I bugged them this morning because I come along here and I park right there. And this is the thing. We're trucking, okay? This is what tiredness can do. I pulled up right in front of the guy and I looked over and above the back of him and I said, hey, he's in my dock. Looked at the number, and from that angle it looks like that, okay? And I called them and I said, and then eventually a woman come out and said, and they called them and bugged them, and you could see them going, no. And eventually a woman come out and she put her fingers like, this is your dock. And so I got out and looked, and of course this is Dock 39, right? So I don't think I've ever done that. And because I'm so fastidious with being careful with trucking, I usually get out of my truck and just walk over anyway, like 5 feet. But I literally made the mistake that the dock next to me was my dock when it wasn't. It was the dock that I'm on. Just a really stupid mistake. I don't even believe I've ever made it in my whole trucking 7-year life. That's how freaking tired I am, and that's how I know I'm tired, and that's not good. And let's get into some more of the detail. Like here at Wonderful Citrus, my third pickup of 3 with this Wacky load. Never done multiple pickups with this guy, the Indian, at all. And this is my first week of the new year. Yesterday I started. The 2nd of January 2025. Let's get the year right, Maverick Moose, because I think you got it wrong on one other video. Called it 2026, but we're in 2025 now. So yesterday I did those 2 pickups around Fresno, and I was due to come here. And the comedy of errors with the freaking broker, the second pickup, still like over there, Be Sweet and Fowler, Fresno, last night. The first one I got there late, because of coming in off the holiday and getting the truck from the yard and doing 2.5 hour deadhead from Stockton down there to Fresno. But I got loaded real quick, and I got over to the second pickup I believe it was Fowler. The first one was for Danuba. The second one was Fowler. It was literally only 20 miles away. So, and I got over there at 5 p.m. Pacific for a broker set appointment for 5:30 p.m. And first thing they tell me in the office is it's 7 p.m. Classic. This just happens all the time with this guy and his brokers, you know. So I let my boss know through text, and he's, oh, let me check, I'll see if I can do this. And he's always trying to, like, this is what Indians do. I mean, I can tell you this little story about one in Australia with sales, but I don't want to get into it. But I vividly remember him stuffing a dirty couple of rags into the corner of an overstuffed car for a field trip, which is just ridiculous. And this guy was a dentist and had a suit in a former career, and he was just acting like an idiot. So no, that didn't work. Okay, I mean, I said to the shipper when I went in there, the second pickup last night, I said, oh, look, boom, 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 they're jamming stuff up my butt. That's good. So I'm getting loaded on the third pickup. So last night, I said when I checked in at like 5:15 p.m., I said, I got a really nice face. See what you can do for me. And he just looked at me. You know, like, so for a re-established appointment of 7 p.m., they didn't even get me on the bloody dock until 8 p.m., which is ridiculous. And I think I was out of there after 9. And then I had to deadhead an hour down to this client for the third pickup. And I'm coming to the point in a minute, because this is the ridiculousness of working for this guy and how it works with just-in-time kind of appointments, and how the brokers set this crap, and how it's all just so tight that if anything goes wrong, like, they screw it up. If they screw it up, well, that's something that went wrong, right? Yeah. Notwithstanding anything, all the other regular stuff that can happen, that can go wrong in trucking. So long story short, I'm out of there a bit after 9. It's about an hour 20 minutes deadhead down here, 67 odd miles. For some reason it was an hour 20 minutes down to 99 to Delano, which is my pickup. And that appointment was scheduled for 9 p.m. and I left the second pickup after 9 p.m. So I'm already behind the times. Okay. I told the boss, look, you know, and I called them from Google Maps. I called this third shipper, Wonderful Citrus, right? And I told the boss, look, I'm going to go, but I've already called them from Google, and they told me, oh, your appointment was rescheduled for 8 a.m. in the morning on Friday. Like, yesterday was Thursday the 2nd, today's Friday the 3rd of January 2025. Oh, yeah, let me check. I'll see if I can, you know, you rush down there, I'll see if I can get them to load you. He texts me. Like, whatever, man, whatever. So whether it was originally rescheduled for 8 based on the unlikelihood, or whether it was somehow or other was some kind of back communication and the long delays at pickup 2 caused the reschedule, I don't freaking know. But I got nothing in the damn truck, okay? And by the time I got down here to Delano last night, it was going to be about 12 hours working on a 14-hour middle clock shift. That's all you're allowed to do for the day. By the time I got down here, it would be 12 hours. Most of my day gone. So assuming the unlikelihood that they would have loaded me last night so late, when they already told me it was rescheduled for 8 a.m. in the morning, no matter what arm twisting my Indian boss is going to do behind the scenes, like, whatever, man. Even if I had got loaded, which wasn't going to happen, I'd have been out hours. I had no hours to drive. Okay. So I put my foot down anyway. Like when I knew when I got to Delano, there's a store down here, a Walmart. As I said, I had nothing in the truck. So as I left Fowler for that hour and 20-minute deadhead down here to Delano last night, between 9 and whatever, I got down here by about 10:15, something like that. I picked up a lot of time, I think. Time is fluid in my world. Not so fluid as you'd think, though, with all this BS that's going on. So I texted him before I left with the deadhead. Look, man, I'm gonna need to go to a store 10 minutes in and out before I go to this third shipper. Right? I just warned him. I didn't want any freaking phone calls, no harassment. Why are you at the Walmart? Well, you know your shipper's gonna close, blah, 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 blah. I didn't want any of that crap. So I warned him ahead of time. Quiet as a mouse, no response on the text. So I come down here, I went to the freaking Walmart, and I think I got here to the shipper last night about 10:50. It's in the Walmart for about 20 minutes odd. And I came in and I talked. Geez, I'm so hazy, I'm so tired. I can't even remember I called him or talked to him. But long story short, they told me, oh yes, it was the gate by the scale house after you come into the yard. And the people said, and I explained a lot of the situation, a lot of detail, and they were very patient with me. And eventually they just said, look, you know, I got the information I needed out of them, you know. I had arrived at the Walmart at 10:15 a.m., 5 minutes away from the shipper from this third pickup. The time I got here was 10:50, right? But it was 10:15 when I was 5 minutes away. And they said, you know, the people at the gate scale house said, look, we close for loading at 9:30 p.m. So a supposed original broker appointment for 9 p.m., but they're closed for loading at 9:30 p.m. Google says they close at 8 p.m. That's a separate thing, like, yeah, whatever. But at least, you know, Google is useful enough to supply a phone number we can talk to them. So I knew, even if I'd skipped my Walmart and come over here, that between 9:30 and 10:15 or 10:20, 5 minutes more, that had been bloody well closed for loading anyway. No amount of Indian arm twisting behind the scenes, whatever, I have to check it, let me see, wasn't going to make any difference. You know, like, I'm a freaking white guy, a Western civilization guy with a rational head on his shoulders, who has critical thinking skills, analyzes, not just a blue-collar trucker, was in a white-collar profession for 25 years, thinks, and I mean, honestly, to blind Freddy, the stuff is dead obvious, okay? Particularly with this crazy load, with its 3 pickups. I wasn't going to get it last night, and I didn't. So then, what's the next long story short? Like 11:08 p.m. by the time I'm back out the gate and on the road and searching for somewhere to shut down, and I come back in this little court that's literally the entrance to this place. I'm pulled over, like literally where the trucks come in and out. And yeah, that's a nice little safe space. And I shut down just after 11 last night, right? So here's the next thing. You know, you got to drive the 11 hour, you got to shut down the 10 hour, right? Well, the DOT says I can be not just driving, but off duty, waiting to be unloaded, whatever. Whatever, man. Like, I'm always on freaking duty. Maximum of 14 hours, then you have to have a 10-hour break before you can drive. Total of 11 hours in that 14 hours. So I shut down just after 11 last night. You know, I had to fix my bedding because that was messed up. You know, I like clean bedding after someone mauls around in my truck. So to set all that up, I had to set my GPS up earlier in the day, but then I set my bedding up before I went to bed last night. Wanted to have something to eat because 2 days in the last 5 days before I went into the motel, I literally did not eat in the truck because I was just so harried and so tired that I didn't eat evening meal. I only ate once I got to the motel, and I hadn't even noticed it. It was just the way I roll. So I better eat a meal tonight. I had eaten a meal the previous couple of nights in the motel. I better eat a meal tonight regardless. Like short hours, short sleep. Shut down after 11. Supposed to have a 10-hour off, okay? That would mean that my clock would reset and I would be able to work, like laser at 9 a.m. But remember, my appointment's been rescheduled for 8 a.m. So here I am, like, you know, I know how this guy rolls, you know. Yard move! Right? So it's like this PC bullshit, which means you can work when you're not working in your bloody sleep. So I shut down at 11 p.m, just a bit after last night. I set my freaking alarm for 7:30 a.m. this morning, knowing it'll take me roughly an hour to get up. So I was going to be late in here by about half an hour, 8:30 instead of 8, which will be doable for me. But, you know, long story short, probably only got about 5.5 hours sleep last night. I'm tired as fuck. That's why I got 39, which I'm on, confused with 40. And you can probably tell from my voice. I mean, there's really a lot of trepidation because it's a full day. So I'm on the dock. It's 11:30 in the morning. By the time I got checked in at the Scale House this morning and over into their parking lot just across the way to wait for a phone call to be on a dock, it was probably about 9:30ish. I was sitting there for about an hour and a half. Long story short, again, I eventually called them, found out they got my freaking phone number wrong by 1 digit. It's 2 instead of a 3. At the Scale House when I checked in earlier. So I've been sitting over there for an hour and a half, almost 2 hours for nothing. Then they assigned me this dock 39. Oh, just go over to 39. Oh, okay. You know, can I just make sure that you got my phone number right? That's when I found out they had the phone number on. Now I knew what was going on. Why they didn't just call me almost straight away this morning when I was over here at 9 for an 8 o'clock appointment. So now I'm on the dock, okay? And I heard some bunking going on there. It stopped for a minute. They're supposed to be loading me. It's 11:30 Pacific, all right? I've been up since 7:30. Up 4 hours. I've had 5.5 hours sleep. Note, since I've done the PC bullshit this morning to come in and check in and get parked and then come over and get on the dock, the way this guy rolls, like from 8:30 this morning, my clock should have reset to where it is now. Bit after 9 this morning from 11 last night. That's 10 hours. So I was already working at 8:30. This is not just me. There's got to be other drivers in all over the industry that have different modalities, the way their companies, particularly independents, run, where you're doing this stuff, you know. I got to talk about hours of servitude. There's hours of servitude, but then there's hours beyond the hours of servitude, and that's what I'm demonstrating right now. I was working on my freaking sleep with 5.5 hours sleep, half an hour before my clock was ready to reset to start the day with a 14-hour total shift and 11 hours inside that total drive time, right? So I've done all this and I'm sitting and waiting, and I'm going to do a freaking yard move again just to get outside the facility once I'm loaded before I actually start my damn pre-trip for the day, okay? And just, I'm fiddling here, but let me just prove it to you. I got to go back to where it was. I'm shifting to back before it was last night, right? So last night, January it was the second, but it says the third there because it's talking about my current third. You see the far end of the clock where it hits 24 and the line there in the middle between 23 and 24. We've traced that line back. That's when I went on sleeper berth, just after 2300, 11 o'clock last night, okay? And then if I spin the thing forward and look at my current hours of service today, right? Oh, where's my freaking graph? Today, see, sleeper berth all through the night till like 8:30 this morning. Went off duty bit after 8:30. That's when I did the PC yard move. Done a couple of little yard moves, 5 minutes here and there within this, you know, quarter of a mile area where I'd been shut down and come over here and got parked and got on the dock. Because I'm literally at the facility. This is what he reckons the DOT's approved him to do. Right. So now it's between 8:30 and 11:30. I've been frickin' working or sitting waiting to be loaded as I have been the last 30 minutes. But as I said, tired, been working in my sleep, really haven't had a proper full 10-hour break. And, you know, just getting the sleeper berth set up last night, you know, with my bedding and whatever, clean, because I'm a clean freak. I wanted to, because I knew the guy was mauling around in there, the Indian, his brother. You see that coily tube there underneath those bags is that freaking stupid vacuum hose that he fixed with the hose that I've been carrying literally since September the 26th when I started, like just over 3 months ago, where it was losing air. So he had mauled around in my truck and he said, oh, I fixed it for you, that's great. Well, now I got to get in the back of my sleeper berth and I use Clorox wipes because he's probably sitting and bouncing around in there to wipe out all the surfaces. I mean, this is how freaky I am. It's my issue. I live with myself. I like myself. And I've lived with that for a very long time, since my ex. Another story. So, yeah, I mean, it took time to get settled last night. I got little sleep. I had less than a legal break anyway before I started, like, working at 8:30 this morning. So that's 11 to 8:30 is 9.5 hours, you know. So I'm literally working a half an hour before my legal break's even over. But I've been up for a freaking hour. I gotta wrap this up, okay? I'm digressing a little bit, but it's important to understand all of the travails of trucking, TRAVAILS of trucking, all the drama and the difficulty and the wrongness in terms of, you know, you're a slave. I'm doing this now because he's trained me to do it this way, because the load fails if I don't do it, okay? Like, imagine if you reschedule for tomorrow, like I said, I put my foot down, so I've got to have my legal break, then they reschedule this again for another day. That's a major disaster, right? I'm hoping maybe I'll catch up on my 10-hour tonight. I'll probably take 11 and I'll probably yell and scream at me, but I don't give a fuck, right? Because that'll be just like basically get in bed down, have a meal, you know. So hopefully I'll get reasonable sleep. I am an experienced trucker. I am aware of what's going on, so I'm very, very careful. But, you know, no one really should work when they're tired. And until they finish me loading and I go outside the facility and set my pre-trip for 15 minutes or 10 minutes or whatever I do, my clock for this day won't even start when I've been up since 7:30 and working theoretically since 8:30, and now it's 11:45, right? So I get out here at 1 o'clock. I'm tired on 5.5 hours sleep, been up since 7:30. That means I've been up 5.5 hours and I haven't even started working yet. And I've got a 14-hour freaking shift clock maximum and do an 11-hour drive. Okay, just starting this new year, this new 3 months, if it's even 3 months with this bugger, starting a brand new week, a brand new load, which has now got spread over 2 days because of the idiocy and the pressures of the broker and the Indian and how they manage their dodgy appointment times with the shippers. I'm sure the shippers are doing some dodgy stuff too, because it's all stretched out, it's all lied, and then it doesn't work the way you think it's going to work. So let me just jump to the big main point now. Let's look at this real quick because I'm running out of time. All I did to start this whole week's trip, the leg out, 241 miles is all I've done. The deadhead down to Fresno, then down to Bakersfield, most of the way to Bakersfield. I've set my I screwed up on my trip 2. Shit, it's trip 3 I'm supposed to zero out, so trip 2 shouldn't have been zeroed out. This is the way I manage my time. So trip 3 I've zeroed out, but I've only done 240 miles in 24 hours. And it's supposed to be 3 days from yesterday at 5 a.m. in the morning when I'm supposed to deliver at HAB in San Antonio for 3 pickup load. 1,500 miles to go, so that would mean I have to do 750 miles in each shift, and you can't do that in California. I've explained that before. So this is a ridiculousness. It's already going to have to be rescheduled, and I'm going to have to run a long day today. I ran 14 hours yesterday, and I'm going to have to tell him, and he's going to yell and scream.